few weeks ago, I was in Southern California at a masterclass with pretty much my best friends from YouTube and Instagram. And we had the privilege of having Melanie Simon come in and basically teach a masterclass on microcurrent and on the ZIIP for a couple days. So I had a couple days worth of watching her give facials with the ZIIP, listening to her tips and tricks, talking to her and picking her brain on the best way to use that little device to get the most out of it. Now, if you're not familiar with Melanie Simon, again, she's the founder of ZIIP, but she's also an esthetician who has been working in the field for over 20 years, and she's been coined the electric esthetician or the electrical esthetician by her, celebrity clients, by the media, by Vogue and Marie Claire and Town and Country and all of the different publications that have written about her over the years, because she primarily works with microcurrent. And her knowledge of microcurrent is mind-boggling. It really, really is impressive. So I'm super excited today to share with you some of these tips and tricks. If you have the ZIIP, these are going to be invaluable tips on what you can do for your eye area, your neck area, if you want to work on your submental or maybe your lips. I got some really great actionable tips to share with you today. So I hope that this is very valuable for you. Now I'm going to roll my conversation with Melanie and I hope you enjoy it. If you have any questions, just leave them down below. I'll do my best to answer them. And if I can't, I will ask Melanie too. I'll see you on the other side. How did you end up creating the ZIIP though? And why? You're doing this in office. You had 3 clinics. You are busy woman. Why would you then endeavor to make an at-home device?
So again, this is all fate because I'm in Montecito, Los Angeles, Jackson Hole, Wyoming. So I had clients that could afford to see me on a weekly basis. I would go from one location to the next. I'd stay like 2 months in each location. And I really saw when people were very regular with this treatment, how transformative it was. Well, then I would leave and go back to the other group. And of course they would still look good, but not as good. And I thought, how am I gonna make this so that they can keep these results up? And then I started thinking, how can I make this so that everybody really could have the power to give themselves this effect at home? Because the way it works scientifically is, when I put that in your skin, of course there are things as a professional that we do, but as you're doing it, you're spiking your ATP production, which just then allows you to synthesize a ton of collagen and elastin. The bummer, you can't store it. So after like 2 days, it's gone, and now you're back to producing the amount of collagen and elastin that you would have been baseline at your age. And I thought, wouldn't it be amazing if every 2 or 3 days you could just pop it back in there, pop it back in there, pop it back in there. And not just that, it's not just the ATP, it helps the cell to regulate itself. So you see a whole lot less acne, a whole lot less discoloration of the skin. There's so many things. The pores tighten, less rosacea, less reactive skin. I mean, it's like the most holistic type of treatment that you could do.
What is something you would do if somebody wanted to be red carpet ready? Like give us some of the moves, some of the insider secrets. So if I want to get myself, as if maybe I want to go out to dinner, I'm not going on the red carpet, what would you do?
Well, for instance, one of my clients was getting ready to walk the red carpet. She was nominated for a Golden Globe. I'd worked on her the day before. The day of was crazy hectic. I walked in, she's like, we're like gonna have to cut an hour out. And she said, as long as we can do the sponges, which is my Biologique machine, and that special program you have on your ZIIP, we're good. And I remember thinking to myself, whoa, as I looked back at, I would bring 2 giant away cases filled with machines to fill up 2 picnic tables, to make all of these waveforms. And I thought, that's, this person, this is her livelihood, and the ZIIP is one of the 2 things that she must have. For a lot of my clients that would go off filming, if I made something that they really liked, I'd put it on their app, I'd film myself on my couch, and it would just be on their app and go with them to South Africa, because I couldn't. But that particular program, a lot of people loved, and I decided this has to be the heart of the lift treatment. That is going to be the default treatment on the Halo when it launches.
Okay, so what you're telling me is you had this celebrity, had a special event. She asked for Biologique and a special program that is now essentially the heart of the lift, which is the out-of-box treatment for the Halo.
Yes.
It's my favorite treatment. It's probably my favorite treatment because I love the fact that I can just turn on the Halo and go.
And you get micro and nano current, and
Yes.
you don't even know it. It's
Yeah.
going like this. Micro, 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 nano, micro, 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 nano, brrr, 60 times per second. Because the body likes between 20 and 60 hits or frequency. That's the hertz per second that it likes. And it does the magic. So I say if you go slow, it really engages the muscle. And if you move faster, you get that lymphatic. And then, of course, you're putting that message in there, which is what the nanocurrent does, to tell the cells, hey, do what you're supposed to do. And then as the day goes on, that person just looks better and better and better. I love doing that for someone when they're going to film, because instead of them looking like, as the lights dry them out and whatnot, their skin just gets better and better and better.
Some of the most challenging areas that I hear about all the time, and for me as well, eyes, lips, neck. So I would love for people to have just some actionable tips for treating around the eyes. What's the best program on the app? What's the best technique on the app if they want to work on their under eyes?
I would say the eye program, for sure, it does everything. I always lean on that program because I like to just hold it horizontal, because even if I have people with these monster cheekbones, I have really high cheekbones and I get puffy eyes. I cannot get the fluid to drain this way, which would make total sense. It should just be able to drain from this lymph node to here, to here, to here, and out. It just doesn't work, and it doesn't seem to work on the majority of my clients either. So I just go horizontal, I get on that lymph node, and I just pull out and kind of hook around, and then I just gently, then you can go and put the brow lift treatment on, and you hook right under that brow and give it a nice lift.
So would you do one side first and then go and do the other side incomplete?
What I typically do is I'll do the lower eye, then I do brow lift, then I take a look, because most people are not symmetrical. Then I'll resync brow lift and even up my eyebrows.
Yes. Okay, so give us the same kind of a tip. Which treatment, technique, lips? Which I know which treatment.
So
The best.
obviously ZIIP lips, but plump, it's a different treatment, so you get both. What I like to do, for instance, my mom is very concerned with this area around her mouth, but she's terrified of lip filler. So I'll do ZIIP lips on the meat and the vermilion border, then I'll go and sync plump, and I will take my finger like this and hold, because when you get deep lines, sometimes you can just skip right over them. I'll pull it like this, and again, you want to use a good amount of pressure, not to where you're hurting yourself, but you want to force that current in, because electricity takes the path of least resistance. There's just no doubt about that, which is why the gel is so important, which we can talk about later. But you want to force it into the skin, out one probe, into the skin, and into the other.
Perfect. Okay, now neck. Same thing. Tell me the best program and give me some practical tips on moves that people can do to improve their neck.
The lift, for sure, it just comes down to technique. We wanted to make it very easy, accessible, a 4-minute treatment. So we're really treating from here up in the video, but it is so good for the neck. If you think about it, when people go to, let's say, get a neck lift, they're not cutting in the middle. They're getting a lift here and they're getting a lift here. So that's why I turn it vertical. This way I'm not anywhere near the thyroid, and I pull back and hold. So you have to make sure you gel down the back of your ear, because this is gonna feel really engaged. So, you know, like I pull. Here's the other thing. You don't have to go and wait for the zzz. You can do 1, 2, zzz. 1, 2, zzz. You could also just go hold, zzz. The holding, like we said, really engages that muscle. So obviously I want this muscle to be engaged, but I want the fluid to be pulled that has gathered here in the middle. So I do kind of a combo, and then I move to this area, which as long as it's from here to here, you're golden. So I get right here, and then I pull over, and then I hug my jawline, and then I pull, and my back probe is right back on that giant lymph node back there. And I'll do that multiple times like that. Then I also like to hold it like this and pull up. Again, if this is up, what's it gonna do to all of this? It's gonna pull it up. And then I'll kind of come over here. You know, don't forget, this is what basically we're doing with the jowls treatment. Now the jowls treatment is a bit more like a workout. It's all about the muscle, where right now with the lift, we're doing lymphatic, muscle, and we're getting that nanocurrent in there, which is why I tend to lean on the lift so much. But you could also, you could do the lift like I'm showing you right now, and then go and do the jowls afterward. And that would be the ultimate in terms of the neck. If you had unlimited time, I always try to talk people into the founder's favorite, which is all nanocurrent, because there is nothing that is going to repair tissue the way that nanocurrent will over time when you're consistent with it. It is the #1 downloaded treatment on the app. And that's not because, you know, I'm out there screaming from the rooftops, even though I am. I'm not like a big showboat. I'm not. It's because the results speak for themselves. So you can do founder's favorite and you don't have to follow any rules. Like, let's say you're losing density right here. You can just kind of hover over this area once you've synced founder's favorite onto the device. You can hold it over the nasal labial fold. You can hold it right under the eye, and just be watching whatever program you want to watch. It's just so easy. And then it beeps, you do the other side. And then if I'm still sitting there watching the program, I'll just sync it again and do it again. Then you really see some magic. It's almost as if you've come in and been able to see me personally.
So something that you just made me think of, you mentioned that as we get older, you know, we can hollow in this area. You were telling me about a move that you can do that can help to kind of re-volumize that area. Will you tell everybody about that?
Now, if you want this, if you feel like you're looking gaunt in these areas, the way it works, it can only have one program on it at a time. Every time you turn it on, it's got the lift on it, no matter what. If you turn the app on and you now go and find Plump, click Start Treatment, this will beep 3 times, beep, beep, beep. Now the lift just got kicked off and Plump is now on here. So you can just circle around that area where you really want to increase the blood flow, and with the blood flow comes the lymphatic fluid and comes all the goodness, and that tissue starts to get fed, and over time it will start to re-volumize.
I think most people think of microcurrent and they think of muscles, but for me, I think of skin. I think the profound effect that microcurrent can have on the skin, on that glow. And then we have to touch on this. the conductivity gels matter so much when it comes to that glow. You have created conductivity gels that, in my opinion, there isn't even a second place anywhere near them. And you know, I'm going to touch on this because people will probably say it. They are more expensive.
Yeah.
Not the new one that comes with Halo. They are more expensive. But two things: you get what you pay for. You get skincare, and you get a treatment. I always say you get an electrified mask is what you get when you use them with the ZIIP. But two, you only have to use the pumps that you use. You don't have to keep applying more. So really, in the long run, one ZIIP gel lasts me I probably have to go through three bottles of a regular conductivity gel that doesn't feel very good and doesn't have as good of ingredients.
100%.
I mean, I love those gels so much.
The gels are so important. And just so you know, the gel that comes with the Halo, hold on to that little bottle because it's the perfect travel size. Also, if you buy the bigger one, it's just the base for all of them. So you can mix them. They all emulsify together perfectly. I mix them all the time. So if you have that little one and it's got a little bit left, you can buy some, let's say, crystal gel and pour it in there and travel with it. The other thing that I recommend if you're on a budget, buy the electric complex gel that's not as expensive, and then buy the conductivity gel that is right for you, and then, you know, do 3, 4 pumps, and then do 2 pumps.
Cocktail it.
Exactly, and really make the other one last. The whole point of those was that I was trying to give you what I would do if you were laying on the bed in front of me, because I would do all of my alternating current, you know, all of those waveforms. Then I would remove the gel, and then, and this wasn't my gel, this was just a plain conductivity gel. And then I would layer on all of the biologique goodness.
All the good stuff.
Which is, you know, crazy. Collagen and elastine extract and placenta and blah, 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 and masks. And I literally drive it into the skin, and you can see the skin respond right before your eyes. And I thought, how can I bring a piece of that to the person at home? And that's where the gels come in. So those gels have to do a lot of things. There's a lot of heavy lifting there. Number one, they have to soak in a certain amount. And what needs to soak in? The actives, which we know those are really getting driven in, but also the electrolytes, because you want the current going into the skin, not just skipping across like it would on an ultrasound jelly.
This has been so fun. I'm so glad you're here. Melanie's going to be back on the channel. If you have any questions that you would like to hear, if you have any specifics, just leave them down in the comments below. We will be checking, and we will be back. She's going to be back on my channel soon. Thank you so much for being here with me today.
Welcome.
I hope you all have such a fantastic day, and we'll talk to you again really soon.
And I love the questions, so
yes,
bring them.
All right, you guys, I hope you enjoyed that conversation with Melanie. I hope you got some really valuable tips and tricks out of it. I know that I did. I learned something new every single time I talk to her. I'm really excited to share some more content with her. I filmed a ton with her. I'll be sharing that in the coming months. I hope you are having the most fantastic day, and I'll talk to you in my next skincare video. Take care.